When we think of World War II, what often comes to mind are images of devastation, brutal battles, and destroyed towns and villages. But behind this dark veil, one figure draws particular attention with the nickname Smiling Albert, a seemingly friendly name that sharply contrasts with the brutality he represented. Albert Kesselring, the notorious field marshal of Nazi Germany, was affectionately called Uncle Albert by his soldiers, known as one of the most well-liked generals among his troops. However, behind that smile and respect was a man who did not hesitate to order heinous acts. One of the most infamous incidents was the Fosse-Ardeatine massacre in 1944, where 335 Italian civilians were killed in retaliation for the deaths of 33 German soldiers. This contradiction between the image of a beloved general and the horrifying cruelty he commanded makes Kesselring one of the most mysterious and terrifying figures of World War II. Today, we will explore the unknown facets of Albert Kesselring, from his life, military career, to his creative strategic inventions and the darker aspects that turned him into such a ruthless figure. And don't forget to follow the History Journey channel, where we bring you captivating, unexpected stories about world history. From an ordinary boy to a deadly figure with a dangerous smile, Albert Kesselring was born on November 30th, 1885, in Markscheid, Bavaria, in a family without any military tradition. His father was a modest civil servant, and Kesselring's childhood passed peacefully among the Bavarian fields. No one could have imagined that the boy who loved mathematics and mechanics would later become one of the most ruthless generals of Nazi Germany. In 1904, Kesselring unexpectedly joined the Royal German Army, not because of family pressure, but because of a desire for freedom within the framework of discipline. From the beginning, he showed remarkable talent and creativity, always finding ways to turn the tables in difficult situations. However, as World War II broke out, Kesselring's strategic brilliance gradually turned into a tool for brutal acts. Famous for his nickname Smiling Albert, Kesselring spread terror on the battlefield. But what was even more haunting was the smile that never left his face, even when he ordered massacres. Whether directing horrific air raids or standing before the death of hundreds of civilians, he maintained a calm and cold demeanor. The Fosse-Ardeatine massacre in 1944, when 335 Italian civilians were killed in retaliation, stands as one of the clearest examples of this brutality beneath his calm exterior. The ever-present and dangerous smile made Kesselring a symbol of cruelty, ensuring that his name would forever be etched in history as a figure of endless controversy. Stay tuned as we continue to explore the development of this cruelty in more detail. And don't forget to subscribe to encourage us to produce even higher quality content. Albert Kesselring in World War II. During World War I, Albert Kesselring quickly demonstrated his exceptional command abilities, from his courage on the battlefield to his deft coordination of forces. However, it was during World War II that he truly rose to prominence, becoming one of the key figures in the Luftwaffe, Nazi Germany's powerful air force. The French campaign, a meteoric rise. In 1940, the invasion of France catapulted Kesselring to new heights within the ranks of Germany's military leadership. With swift and devastating air raids, he crippled France's defense systems in a matter of days. Under his sharp command, the Luftwaffe's squadrons wreaked havoc across the skies of France. Airfields were obliterated, military forces were thrown into chaos, and France, a nation with a proud military history, quickly collapsed under the relentless power of the Luftwaffe. But Kesselring's success was not solely based on military might. He understood that victory required the perfect synchronization of air, land, and sea forces. His strategy worked like a well-oiled machine, attacking from all directions and giving the French no opportunity to respond. Within a short time, Paris fell, and the world was left stunned by the lightning speed of Germany's attack. Was this the result of Kesselring's strategic genius, or simply France's unpreparedness for such a bold invasion? To this day, that question remains debated. The Battle of Britain, glory and defeat. Following the stunning victory in France, Kesselring was assigned a pivotal role in the Battle of Britain, an ambitious campaign to gain control of the British skies and destroy the Royal Air Force, RAF. This battle was not only a military showdown, but also a test of the resilience and spirit of two nations. Day and night, the skies over Britain were ablaze with fierce aerial combat. Kesselring orchestrated large-scale bombing raids targeting airfields, factories, and key infrastructure, hoping to cripple the RAF's ability to fight. However, the British, with their indomitable resolve and the legendary Spitfire fighter planes, fought back fiercely. Kesselring found himself facing a worthy opponent. Britain's tenacity, combined with Winston Churchill's leadership, prevented Germany from securing control of the skies as planned. This defeat was a shock to Kesselring and marked a turning point in World War II, as it was the first time Nazi Germany had been stopped in its conquest of Europe. The Italian Campaign, fierce resistance. If the Battle of Britain was a painful defeat, Kesselring found redemption in Italy, where he showcased his brilliance as a defensive commander. As the Allied forces stormed the peninsula, Kesselring implemented a strategy of deep defense, using the rugged terrain of the Apennine Mountains to slow down the enemy's advance. He transformed Italy's mountains and valleys into impenetrable fortresses, forcing the Allies to fight for every inch of ground. At Monte Cassino, Kesselring turned an ancient monastery into a strategic defensive point, where the Allies paid a heavy toll in lives to make progress. His unexpected counterattacks, taking advantage of Italy's treacherous terrain, inflicted heavy casualties on the Allies, making the battle one of the fiercest confrontations of the war. Despite Kesselring's tactical genius, he could not withstand the growing power of the Allies. In 1944, Rome fell to the Allies, marking the beginning of the end for the German forces in Italy. Though he continued to lead in the north, the tide of war had turned against him. Germany's repeated defeats and its dwindling resources left Kesselring in a weakened defensive position, unable to change the course of the war. From his triumphant victories in France to his devastating defeat over Britain's skies, and his tenacious defense in Italy, Albert Kesselring left an indelible mark on World War II, a brilliant yet controversial military figure. Post-war trial, reasoning and judgment. After the war ended, Albert Kesselring was arrested and faced a military trial by the Allies for war crimes. In this trial, the Ardeatine massacre stood out as one of the most significant charges against him. Kesselring tried to justify his actions, arguing that retaliation was necessary to maintain discipline and that anyone in his position would have done the same. He contended that if the German forces did not take strong retaliatory measures, the resistance movement would have grown stronger, causing even greater losses for the German military. However, Kesselring's defense could not erase what had happened at the Ardeatine caves. The evidence and testimonies from survivors and the victims' families highlighted the brutality and inhumanity of the massacre. In 1947, Kesselring was sentenced to death, but his sentence was later reduced to life imprisonment. In 1952, he was released for health reasons and lived the rest of his life in peace until he passed away in 1960. Albert Kesselring, with his successes and failures, remains a mysterious and controversial historical figure. His life and career exemplify the complexity of war and the tough decisions that military leaders must face. Don't forget to follow History Journey to continue uncovering surprising stories about historical figures.